Hey everybody, it's James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and in today's lesson we're going to show you how to play Come As You Are by Nirvana. This is originally recorded in D standard tuning, and we're not going to do that. We're going to play it in just regular old standard tuning. But in the event that you do want to play along with the original recording afterwards, you'll have to take each of your strings and tune them down a whole step. So from low to high, instead of, our usual E, A, D, G, B, E, we would get D, G, C, F, A, D. You can tune your strings to those notes if you want to play with the original recording. It's called D standard tuning. And this tune has a lot of lead elements, like the main thing is a riff, and there's a solo, and a lot of riff-based stuff. So if you need any extra help with that kind of stuff, we have an ebook that covers pretty much all the fundamentals of lead guitar. And if you need any extra help with that, please check that out. There's a link down below, and I think there's also a card up in the corner. Anyways, I'll start out by showing you the riff really slowly. 1, 2, 3. And to learn it, we'll divide it into a few parts. First, we'll begin on the low E string, and we're just going to pluck the string open 2 times. Then we play the first fret, and then the second fret. And I really recommend using this fingering. First finger, second finger, it all lines up super easily. First finger on the first fret, second finger on the second fret. Anyways, that first little bit, 0, 0, 1, 2. Then we can add the next part, which goes like this. And all we're doing there is we're picking the open A string, and then the second fret of the lowest string, and then we do that again. So far, this is what we have. This next bit is super easy. We're just going to go like this. So all we're doing there, 2, 1. And we'll add that to what we have so far. And now for the final part, we'll start out by placing our finger on the second fret of the A string. So right there on the second fret of the 5th string, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to pick the lowest string, then that second fret, then we pick the low string 2 times, and then back to that note. And that's it. So practice each bit nice and slow. Try to put it together just a little bit more each time. Just start off with maybe just the first couple bits. And then maybe practice just the second half of it a whole bunch of times. And once you have those 2 halves working out, put the whole thing together. Try it super duper slow. And then try to do it a bunch of times in a row. The very first time that we play this riff, we go. But on repeats, we're just going to go. So that riff is really important. That's like 65% of the song. So I want you to practice putting it together right now. Just pause the tape. And when you're ready, we can play it together slowly, just so you can see if you're getting it right on. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. For this next bit, we're going to need a couple of chord shapes. We have an F sharp 5 chord. So that's just an F sharp power chord. You can find out more about power chords in our lead guitar ebook, by the way, link down below. Anyways, all we're doing here for this shape is we're putting our first finger on the second fret of the lowest string, and then we put our ring finger on the 4th fret of the next string, and we have our pinky finger on the next string. We're gonna play this a little bit differently than your average power chord. We're not just gonna rock out on the power chord. We're actually gonna make sure that this finger right here is clear of the fretboard so that we can get those top 2 strings. And that's all we want, is just those 2 strings ringing open. We don't want that string ringing open. And you might be able to just touch it with the underside of your pinky finger. The underside of your 4th finger right here. See, I'm just touching it just really lightly. You might be able to touch it with the underside of this finger, but if you lower your finger too much, you'll just mute all the top strings. So be sure to mute the 3rd string, but leave these 2 strings open. So this is an easy shape to get, but you really have to try hard to mute that string. That's where the challenge is in this one. Anyways, once we have that chord down, we can strum it. And we're just gonna go down, down on the power chord part of it. And then we'll do an up just on the top 2 strings. Down, down. See that? So just try that a few times. That'll help you make sure that you're really muting that string, that you're aiming for the right part of it. Just try it a whole bunch to get the right sound. And then we just have to go up, down on the lower part of the chord. And when you put that all together, and to count that out, we would go 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So make sure you can do that while counting it out. That'll make sure that your strumming is nice and even. So that's one of the chords. The other one is A, and we can play A with just a single finger. Really quick to change to it. Going from that F chord, F sharp chord, pardon me, to A. And if you're not familiar with this chord shape, please check out our rhythm guitar ebook. We show you all the basic chords. A is in there for sure. Anyways, for strumming this one, it's really simple. We just go. So all we're doing there, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. And the counting for that, super duper simple. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. And when we combine it with the other part, we end up with this. Now I'll count that out, play it really slowly so we can just nail the rhythm. 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. And once you figured that part out, we can try it together as well, a bit slower than the original recording. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's one more rhythm part, and this one is actually even easier than the last one. We have 2 chords for this one. The first one is B5, and it looks like this. You might notice that it's actually the same thing as F sharp 5, except we just pushed it all over that way. Anytime you have like a something 5, like D5, B5, it basically means that you just get to use this shape and just slide it around the fretboard. And that's all we have to do for this part. We start off on B5, and we're just gonna strum it like this. So all we're doing there, down, up, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we slide this shape up to the 5th fret, and we do the exact same thing again. So our first finger is on the 5th fret now. That's the note D. That makes this a D5 power chord. And we do the same thing. So we just slide between those 2 parts. We end up doing it 6 times total. use all downstrokes. Sounds a bit beefier that way. Upstrokes, all downstrokes. I think that part's actually pretty straightforward, and if you're ready, let's try it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the last thing we have to go over now is the solo. And I've actually switched guitars because there's going to be a bend. That's where we bend a note. And my other guitar doesn't really like bends too much. So I've switched to one that's a bit more bend friendly. It might be really hard if you're on an acoustic guitar to bend as well. Like I use an acoustic guitar just for recording lessons. I would really recommend ripping this one on an electric guitar though to get like the full effect and to, you know, especially for this solo part. Anyways, the solo goes like this. And we would do that 4 times in a row. Now this is one of the easier guitar solos that I've come across, and I show this to a lot of newer students. So if you're afraid of the word guitar solo, this one's actually not too bad. You know, you're totally welcome to try it. If not, just rock out the rhythm part, no worries. But if you want to do the solo, we'll start off on the 6th fret of the 3rd string. So we'll count 1, 2, 3. We're on the 3rd string at the 6th fret. Make sure that your note sounds the same as mine. And then from there, we're going to take our finger up to the 9th fret, same string, and then we play the 11th fret with our 3rd finger. We've got to switch fingers there. As soon as we put our 3rd finger on the 11th fret, we slide down till we get about here, and then we play that note again with our 1st finger. So that might be a bit tricky. Just try it a few times like that. So we'll do that part sliding back down 2 times. 2nd time. Now on the 3rd time, starts off the same way, but instead of sliding down, we do a bend here. And we're going to bend the 11th fret until it makes the same pitch as the 13th fret. So I recommend just picking the 11th, the 13th, get that sound in your ear, and then try to make it bending. And if you want to make it sound exactly like the real recording, you don't have to do this, but if you put your 4th finger on the 12th fret of the B string, of the 12th fret of the 2nd string, you get like a country bend kind of thing going on, and that's exactly what he's doing on the recording. Sounds super cool. Once you put some distortion on it, it's way beefier. It's really cool. So if you can do that, you're totally welcome to, but you don't have to. Anyways, after we do the bend, all we have to do is just play just like that. 11, 9, and then we start the whole thing over again, and we would do it 4 times total. So I'll show you all that really, really slow now. 3, 4. And then we would play it 3 more times, and that's the entire solo. I recommend practicing along with the original recording. If you can find it on YouTube, you could even use the little gear in the bottom right corner in the settings. You can actually slow down YouTube videos to like 0.75 speed or 0.5. That's a really, really good idea, especially for practicing solos. So that's how you play Come As You Are by Nirvana. We covered quite a few things in this tune. Power chords, a few things with strumming, bending notes, playing some lead stuff. And if you need any extra help with that kind of stuff, you can download our free ebooks. We have one for lead guitar, one for rhythm guitar. They're both free to all of our subscribers. There's a link down below, so check it out if you want to get all the fundamental stuff. Other than that, have fun practicing this tune and we'll see you next week.